Ishto. Ayo Wana Ishto. Hey, thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Great Mother. Thank you, power and the guidance and of the medicine wheel in all our relations, all my relations, Happy Moon Day, everybody. It's a dark and it's a misty and it's a foggy moon day out there already. Aho. I'm up early and I'm on video early, and I don't usually do things this early, but this morning I was up at 5 something because my body said, get up. Never mind the perceived mind, but the body said, hey man, let's do this. And then I started receiving texts from my friend Diane Sova, from a client Aisha, and then another Corinne from Texas, and people that are wanting to talk to me, and I probably want to talk to. And how beautiful is the morning? How beautiful is the distant light, is what I can see as the gray light coming up, rising here in the village of Oak Creek of Sedona. Happy Moon Day, happy Moon Day, happy Moon Day. Do you have your coffee yet, or your mushrooms, or whatever it is you're drinking this morning? Right? So how's everybody doing today? Let me know how you're doing. Ayo Wana Ishto. Ayo Wana Ishto. Cover me in spirit. Cover me in spirit. Cover me in spirit. Cover you in spirit. Cover us in spirit. Ayo Wana Ishto. How many of you take the time to wish well upon others? Not just to say have a good day or many blessings, but to really internalize having a good day from the heart. You're sending good messages and well wishes to people who may be having a tough time and they don't talk about it, who may have lost somebody and they're talking about it, but they're being quiet. How many of you are suffering internally yourselves, right? With external stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about? A lot of people suffer internally from external problems, and they don't know how to go inside to quiet the noise, because the noise comes from out here. I call it the white noise. When I go visit mom in Los Angeles and I'm asleep in my bedroom, I hear this sound. It's a constant sound that permeates the walls. It comes through the walls and comes through the double pane windows. And what it is the sound of the city. It's a sound of helicopters, cars, motorcycles, freeways. It's a sound of people. It's just this noisy, nasty sound that wakes me up in the middle of the night and says, go home, go back home to Sedona. I know you love your mother, but go back home to Sedona where it's quiet. But I really don't have to come back home to Sedona where it's quiet, because I am where it's quiet. All I have to do is internalize and go inside and find the peace that's within the four chambers of my heart. The four directions, the four elements, the four animals, the four plants. What is the internalization of silence? Is that a word, internalization? Feel like to you, sound like to you, right? Mine sounds like it whispers to me, everything is gonna be okay. Everything is all right. Walking crow, don't worry. Let it go. The outside noise is none of your business. How many of you make the outside noise your business? Politics, government, community issues that aren't important, like building monuments to ourselves. You drive through Sedona, there's monuments to a people that never lived here. They live here now, but they never lived here before. And there's no monuments to the people that used to come here and pray here and honor here. They should put a big tennis shoe or a big hiking shoe in the roundabouts here in Sedona. But that's external noise. That's the kind of stuff people think about, right? Making monuments to themselves. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday in Galveston, Texas, DB Buckner, and her son Zeke is he's a young man who has had a lot of issues in his life physically, and he's one of those people that probably shouldn't be alive, but he's here to be the example of how to persevere and how to overcome and how to be the spirit when the doctors say he's going to die, and he's still here smiling and saying, "Hello, doctor." And we were talking about, what were we talking about? I just lost that train of thought. Oh, well. Shifting gears. Ayo Wana Ishto. Cover me in spirit. So back to the internalizing of spirit and what it feels like, what it sounds like, what it should be is internal. This morning, before I woke up, I could hear my heart beating. Right? How many of you ever really notice your heart beating or really hear it or pay attention to it? We're so busy with the external sounds, the external worlds, that we don't know what the sound of our own body feels like. We have to go to the doctor to understand what's wrong with us. I understand what's wrong with me. When I eat the wrong thing, I know it. So I avoid the wrong things as much as possible. What are wrong to my body may be right for your body, okay for you, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke, but I smoke the pipe ceremonially. But I don't take it into my lungs. I take it into my mouth. Then the smoke that I let go of represents the prayers that are rising to Great Spirit and Great Mother. How do you internalize the outer world? Do you internalize the outer world? Many of us externalize the outer world, and we call it stress. We call it anxiety. We call it cancer, we call it alcoholism, we call it drug addiction, we call it food addiction, we call it sex addiction, we call it anger, fear, rage. Pick one. Pick one. What do you call yours? What do you call the external noise once you internalize it? Do you know how to transmute, transcend, transpose that into quiet, peaceful being, not thoughts? Did you hear what I said? Being. Are you a being? Being. Are you a being doing? Are you a being doing the being? Are you in the doing of the being and the being of the doing? I'll say it that way. Are you? Can you? Will you? Do you? I ask that question all the time because I didn't know that I could when I was drinking. I didn't know that I could when I stopped drinking. I didn't know that I could when I was drugging. I didn't know that I could when I stopped drugging. All those things, those habits I used to have that I formed because I was building a wall between you and I. the world and me. When I'm a part of this world, I spent my time as a younger man, as a younger person, building a wall between me and you. And you know what I called that wall? I called it fat. I called it obesity. I call it the solitary place of the child within, because I didn't know how to be in the world and respond. So I built this wall between you and me, which was a 38 waist and 238 pounds. I'm 160 now. I've been 160 for a long time. But I was down to 140, but that was affecting my health. So I had to gain a little bit of weight. My health is better. My weight's better. But I'm not obese. That wall is gone between you and me and you and me and the world. Me and God. Whatever the God is. Aho. Whether you want to call it universe, great spirit, great mother. Whichever those things. I call it great spirit and great mother. I call it the stars, nations. I call it the universe. I call it many things. I don't give it the one name and call it the one true God, because those who do don't know what the one true God is. Especially if they're, eating crappy food and taking in tobacco in the wrong way and alcohol and things that are not good for us. Ingesting football for 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day. Wow. How good is that for your brain or for your soul, right? Pick one. Pick one. You pick many all the time. And if you happen to pick me by chance because I happen to be on, thank you. I hope that I say something that's meaningful to you, that helps you get over the hump of where you are right here, right now. Not later and not yesterday, but right here, right now. Aho. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but Ayo Wana Ishto, and I haven't sang that song online for quite a while, reminds me to cover myself in spirit in all things. In all things, there's a Bible verse, for all things give thanks to the Lord. I don't know what your Lord is. I don't know what your God is. If you are your God inside, but for all things, everything, not just the good things. Everybody's thankful for all the good things. My friend, what's his name? Oh, why am I going blank? Lloyd Runkle passed away last month or a little almost 2 months ago, and they memorialized him. They did a celebration of life in the Gettysburg Saturday, and I couldn't be there. And it makes me a little sad knowing that Lloyd is not physically here. But I know his spirit is alive within me because I'm feeling the emotion of his presence and his loss and the time that we shared together here in Sedona, because him and his family, and he brought groups to Sedona, they would come here to sit with me and we would do ceremony out on the golf course. And I would sit and have a meal with them. I can't do that with Lloyd in the physical. But he's here with me sipping my coffee. He's here in spirit. Ayo Wana Ishto. I cover myself in Lloyd's spirit because Lloyd was a beautiful man. His wife Leslie is just lovely, and his mother Katie Ann. They're beautiful, wonderful people. And I've been blessed. My spirit has been blessed by their spirit. So it brings me peace. It brings me quiet. It brings me resolution. This feels good this morning. And Ayo Wana Ishto. Oh, and my friend Julie O'Brien is watching from Australia. I want to thank everybody. Julie was the tip of the iceberg for me with people from Australia. Julie came and Lisa came and Grandma Karen was here last year, and she's coming back next year or this year. And I have a whole group of people, probably about 20 or so or more, that listen to what I have to say, and they follow me, and they're clients of mine. And there are 2 drums now in Australia, 2 of the drums that I make, and 2 rattles. Yeah, 2 rattles. And the medicines that I birth here in Sedona are now making their way across the Pacific to Australia, to that beautiful island complex fortress in the sea. I'll say it that way. I hope that safe haven, that beautiful place called Australia. I hope. Anyways, I love that I've been able to connect with you all in the way that I do. Because I can't even connect with my family in the way that I connect with you. Isn't that strange that our family appears in different places, on the water, on the land, in the air, everywhere, but in our own home sometimes. Aho. So not that I'm complaining about, my family. That's the nature of family sometimes. It's the nature of friends. We call each other friends, but we never see each other. We never call each other. We don't take the time to say, hey, are you feeling okay? There's too many of you for me to keep up with. I'm not ghosting you. There's too many. Anyways, I love that I'm able to have tentacles that reach around the world and into the universe, beyond what satellites and technology can reach, because the energy of the chi, the prana, the energy between you and I, the love channel, the love canal, the love channel that beams across the nations and the seas is so strong. I don't need a subscription to have it, to do it. I'm blessed to be able to do remote healings from where I sit or I stand in my office. I'm able to drum, and the person on the other end of that connection to my heart and to my soul is receiving that healing, as well as I receive the healing from being the facilitator of that drumming, of that healing, of those words, of that talk, of that healing. Yesterday I was on actually Messenger with DB Buckner in Galveston, Texas. She's Zeke's mom. Zeke is a lovely young man, and they both have my drums, or the drums that I make, and DB bought one for her and Zeke, and they were bought one, and Zeke has been sick all his life. He's 30 something, and he's been ill all his life, and he's a miracle in her life. So one day I decided I was going to send Zeke his own drum, and it surprised her and him totally. They didn't know that was coming. And I sent that drum, and did it cost me anything? No. Did it give me anything? Absolutely. It gave me more than I could tell you. It gave Zeke the exuberance and more life to drum and to feel and to live and feel the heartbeat of his mother again in that drum, to feel his own heartbeat. That's the peace I'm talking about. The peace that I was able to give that young man and his mother and myself, right? That's the Trinity. That's the Trinity. That's the true Trinity. What we give to others and how it affects those around them and those around us. Are you willing to give to others? Are you willing to put away or set aside your pride and your ego and your anger and your fear and your hurt? There's a new young lady in my life that I just met in Sedona. I had lunch with her the other day, and she sent me a message and told me that she spoke with her dad. Her dad has lifetime issues of anger and rage and all kinds of things. And she said that she sent me a message letting me know that she had a phone conversation with him, and she told him about his behavior and how it made her feel growing up. I'm proud of her. Do you know what that takes to say something like that to your father? And he's preparing to cross over. He's riddled with cancer and dis-ease throughout his body, because that's what rage does to you. That's what anger does to you. That's what fear does to you. And she's been able to find resolution, to have resolute love for her father by saying, Dad, this is the way you made me feel for a lifetime. And I'm so proud of her. You know, we don't have to know people for a long time to understand that we understand. I hope. Anyways, I'm proud of her, you know, and I'm waiting for the next message of how it's going, you know. And whether it's good, bad, or indifferent doesn't matter. She made the effort because her soul is calling out for that resolution. Julie knows what I'm talking about, right? The resolution within the self, not resolution with the other person. You know, forgiveness, the Ho'oponopono, I believe, is not for the other person so much as for the self. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, Walking Crow, that I gave you alcohol. I'm sorry that I gave you anger. I'm sorry that I gave you fear. I'm sorry that I carried that energy for all those years. I had to forgive myself for doing that to the little boy who was busy trying to become a man and didn't know how to. Do you hear me? I was a little boy trying to become a man, and I didn't know how to do that. But I became a man, a childish man, and I had to learn how to be, in my 50-whatever year olds, I started doing this work. I had to learn how to become the little boy and pick him up, upbeat, and rescue him and hold him. And I would say to him, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Over and over again. Because I left him behind at 5 years old in fear. I left him alone because I didn't know how to be with him. I was so out of my skin, out of my body. I moved forward, and at the age of 11, I picked up potty poo. Those of you who are smoking pot, these spiritual people are still numbing. Those of you, I picked up alcohol. I picked up a Pabst Blue Ribbon 16-ounce beer at the age of 11 to play big shot in front of the neighborhood kids. And I did that for another 20 years and stayed drugged and drunken and ignorant and broken for a long time, beyond the 20 years. And it was over 10 years ago when I found my path. You know, I don't know anything about woke or awake or waking up, but I know that as an alcoholic in my sobriety, I came to. I came to believe. I came to know and understand who and what Walking Crow is, who and what I was tormented by, what were my triggers, who were my what, who and what were my masters. And what I learned was, I am my master. My heart is my master. My feelings I am mastered. You know, people are always talking about mastering their mind, and they can't even master their mouth. Listen to their words. Listen to the words that they use. Oh, I hate. Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, you're so stupid. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, you're so ugly. You're so retarded. All the words that we use and we think are funny and cute, they're not funny and cute. You take away the spirit of somebody and yourself when you use those words. I talked about building the wall of weight of 238 pounds, 90 pounds ago, a whole other human. There's nothing cute about a fat guy, suffering through life. There's somebody in there who has been trying to get out and is buried in their own skin and fat and cells and pain and hurt and wound and shame and all those things. Can you hear me? Do you hear me? Don't pretend not to. You can't avoid my words. I'm 160 pounds now. I didn't go on a diet because the root word of diet is die. And every July 31st, every December 31st, you make a resolution to do something for yourself. And the second week of that resolution, you're face down in the pizza box again. And wondering why you're 5 pounds up from where you said you wanted to be instead of 20 pounds down. Because you don't know how to be true and honest to yourself. I did that for a lifetime. I was making resolutions about what I'm going to do, and I never did shit. I never did anything. Stop making failed resolutions to yourself. I stopped making failed resolutions to myself. I don't make resolutions to be popular and to have something to talk about, to tell my friends what I'm doing so I can be a failure in their eyes again and vice versa. I made restitution to myself when I got on this path, when I said yes to little walking crow, to big walking crow, and I merged him and the little boy together. And I became willing to make restitution to myself. Listen to this. I became willing to make restitution to myself after a lifetime of failed resolutions. Happy New Year. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at me because I failed miserably for a lifetime. Because that's what life taught me how to do. That's what your life taught me how to do. The life of my parents, the life of my father, my mother, my brothers, my grandparents, you name it. The zealots, the perverts, the drunks, the enablers, the teachers with no degree, but they were teaching school at the Catholic school that I went to. They had no degrees, but they were there teaching schools and slapping the shit out of all of us. Aho! Do I lie? Julie, I love you. I know you hear me. I know you hear me from 18 hours away. You're 18 hours away, and your radar, your crowdar is on because you sent me a picture of that crow. Your crowdar is on, and he was on the ocean, on the rocks of the ocean. Aho, aho, aho. This life is about navigating the waters. Thank you for sending me that picture. You just sparked a conversation. This life is about navigating the waters. Which waters? The emotional waters. The full moon is coming this week. Moon energy is about the emotion. It's about direction of the west, direction of the woman, direction of the ocean, EMOCEAN, dark, depth, darkness, depth, the sacrum, aho, where we're birthed, it's where we're birthed, it's where we birth, it's where divine feminine come together with divine masculine. So I get this video from Julie of this crow dancing around on the rocks, and she says crow is everywhere, and it made me giggle this first thing this morning. But on the ocean, because on the other end of that ocean, here I am saying what I'm saying, and thank you, Julie, for that reminder. Right? I can navigate the waters, the oceans, the emotions, without having to be shipwrecked on the rocks. Thank you, Julie. Without having to be shipwrecked on the rocks and no ability to move. I stand on the rock. I stand as the rock within the water. I am the foundation of who and what I am emotionally. Can you, will you, do you, can you be that? Can you be your own foundation? Or do you have to be looking for approval from the next person, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your husband, or Mr. Right, or Mrs. Right now? Do you know how to be the foundation while navigating the waters of your emotion? Emocean. Do you? It took me a long time. It took me a lifetime. I'm 62 years old. And I suffered for most of my life. Did you feel that emotion come up? I suffered at my own hand after theirs, because that's what I learned to do. And what I learned to do as Walking Crow was to undo that. Pull the string of my sweater, the thread of my sweater, to unravel that tight-fitting sweater that I wore, that I was bound by. I was bound and in bondage by the things that were taught to me, done to me, shown to me as a child. And I no longer live in that bondage. Does your body replicate what happened to you in your life? With the weight like I did. I was 238 pounds, excuse me. I was 238 pounds. I didn't know how not to be fat. I didn't know how not to stuff with food and fill myself up with food, because I didn't know how to fill myself up with love, to ask for love, to say I wanted love, to give love. I didn't know how to ebb and flow love. I know how to do it now, and I'm doing it now, because I have to share with you the truth. Is it your truth? I don't know. Do you relate to my truth? I don't know. Do I care? I don't know. I do care. That's why I'm saying what I need to say. I care about you more than you know. I care about you more than I know, because those of you in Alcoholics Anonymous, this will sound familiar to you. I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state. Let me rewrite that. I have transformed from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I was never hopeless. I was only helpless. I asked for help, and I remain hopeful. I don't live in the ism of the alcohol. I live in the wasm of the alcohol, of the drug addiction, of the food addiction, of the sex addiction, of all of the love addiction, of the hate addiction, of the anger addiction, of the emotional addictions, of the things that I never received as a child. I learned to give to myself in a loving way. I don't know what alcohol tastes like. I don't want to know what it tastes like, because I don't need to drink that so I can feel better. I often say, you guys hear me say it, a lot of you wait for Friday to have 2 glasses of wine that turn into 2 bottles of wine that turn into 2 days of misery. Misery. How long can you do that? I know people who do that. They're in their 60s and their 70s. They're in their 50s. Why and how and what? What are you proving? That you can make it? You can do it? I know somebody who never had their parents. Their parents died at a very young age. And every time I see her, she's drinking that wine. I'm like, wow. She never knew her parents, but she knows how to whine about it. Do you hear what I said? She knows how to whine about it. I love her. And she's somebody who's been in my life forever. But she doesn't know how to not anesthetize herself after 80, almost 90 years. She's still doing it. That's sad to me. My father's been gone 33 years. I've been sober. No, he's been gone 32 years. I've been sober 32 years this week. On Saturday, I think. And, I'm happy that I got to do that. In fact, on the 26th, 2 and 6 is 8. 8 is a number of infinite spiritual power. Did you hear what I say? Infinite spiritual power. The number 26, January, 32 years of sobriety. I didn't do that on purpose. In fact, I don't know how I got sober. You know, the judge, I got a nudge from the judge, and I shared the other day that I was doing an interview with somebody, and we're about healing, and she asked the question, how did you come to find yourself in Alcoholics Anonymous, in recovery? I said, in handcuffs. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I just didn't show up into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous one day and say, here I am, I'm sober. No, that's not how it happened. I was driving one night and the Christmas lights went on, and I was standing on the side of the freeway in handcuffs, in the backseat of the police squad car in handcuffs, at the jail, at the police station, handcuffed to a bench. I was benched in handcuffs. All of a sudden, I turned into a tough guy because I was in jail. Ooh, what a chump I was. I have to laugh at my life because it's laughable. Because my life is so good now. You know, what time is it right now? It's 8:09 in the morning. And 8 and 9 is 17, and 1 and 7 is 8, and that's the number of infinite spiritual power. Listen to what I'm talking about. That is the spirit, the quiet spirit within, speaking to me, showing it to me, telling it to me, speaking it to me. I've gone to church this morning and I never left the house, never left my desk, never left my coffee. But Spirit speaks to me in the way of numbers, in the way of messages, in the way of omens, in the way of portals. And it shows me other people who are examples to me of where I was, to remind me of who and what I was and who and what I don't have to be ever again. Can you? Will you? Do you? Do you want to be free of the bondage of selfishness, and become selfless like the trees? There's a grandmother tree outside my window, out on the golf course. And I see her and use her as an example every day. And the tree sees the sky, the moon, the stars, the rain, the snow, the sun. It sees the birds of the air, the winged. It sees the two-legged. It sees the four-legged. It sees the creepy crawlies. It houses the birds of the air and the ground animals. Right? It sees you, me, it sees everything. But you know what the grandmother tree doesn't see? And those of you who follow me, who know what I say, should know this. What the grandmother tree doesn't see is herself. She is truly selfless. She gives her branches so people can make a drum. She gives her branches so tourists can come to Sedona and have a walking stick because they don't know how to use their own two legs and be in balance of their body. So they need a third leg to balance themselves because they don't know how to be in balance within the confines and the energies of Sedona. She gives her branch so you can make a house, so we can make a fire, so we can have ceremony, so we can have prayer. But she doesn't give it fully. But she constantly gives of herself and never sees herself in the giving, only in the doing. I love grandmother tree. The frame of the drums that I make are maple. She gives in the drum. The mother, grandmother, the portal, your mother, my mother, our mother, gives and births us without care for herself, I believe. So how will you become selfless in your community? How can you become the common unity within your community, in your quiet spiritual space within the four chambers and the four directions of your heart? How can you do that? I want to start doing something, maybe not weekly, but I'd like to do in the evenings a live where you guys can ask questions and how-tos. And because there's so much to say, there's so much to give. It's only early Monday. It's 8:15 or something now. Hold on a second. I gotta tend to my addiction. Just kidding. um, There's so many people who don't know how to find better, healthier words for themselves. And that's one of the things that I teach. I teach a class called Healing the Language of Lack and Lineage. Where did you learn that? Those of us who didn't have parents, who couldn't have parents, who had alternative lives, who didn't know how to be in our own skin because we weren't taught, because we were separated from different things in our lives that were supposed to be love, and those things were never given to us. How many of us were given cultural things that we didn't, our cultural body doesn't understand, our cultural soul, but they were forced on us, kind of like religion. You know, Easter's coming, Christmas is coming, Ash Wednesday's coming, you name it, you know, all these things that they lay on us, and they have nothing to do with us and everything to do with them. And they have nothing really to do with them, but because they've become parrots of the parrots of 2,000 years of parroting. What am I saying? Parrots, parrots. Aho, aho. You can't bring a parrot from South America, or you can't smuggle parrots into the United States, but the parrots can bring in parroting from 2,000 years ago from a place far away that really is none of my business. Aho. They'll call it my business because they wanna rule my life. They wanna force me into their servitude. Fuck their servitude. I probably have spoken too much because I'm like getting off track. Ayo Wana Ishto, Ayo Wana Ishto, Ayo Wana Ishto. Cover me in spirit. I cover you. I cover you. I cover you in spirit. Aho Shinowana Honata. Aho Shinowana He. I have a lot to say for some reason. Probably because I was told to shut up, be quiet, go outside as a little kid. By the nuns, by the teachers, by my parents, by my uncles, by my aunts. Now I have plenty to say. And even in Alcoholics Anonymous, they like to be parrots and say, I don't know nothing. I don't have anything to say because I don't know nothing, but they're always opening their mouth. I got plenty to say because I know plenty. Aho. I have transformed from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body, and I continue to transform. I was never hopeless. I was only helpless. I asked for help, and I remain hopeful. Can you? Will you? Do you? Aho. As a Native person, I don't talk like other natives, and I can only talk about what I've been taught about, or what I've been shown, or the way that the spirits speak to me. I have feathers, and I have smudge, and I have the drum. I have all of those things, but I speak in a different way. I'm a little more in your face about it because I come from the city. I come from Los Angeles. I came from a material place. I don't want to be material. I had to let go of material things. I mean, I still have my computer and my phone and my art and but I'm a simple guy. I didn't know how to be simple. I was complicated for a lifetime. And the more I understood I was complicated, the more complicated I got. No. I want to thank you guys for letting me go on and on and on this morning. If you can, if you missed this, most of this, rewatch it. And if there's anything of interest here for you, let me know. If you have a question, if you would like to be mentored by me, or if you would like to have a class with me on healing the language of lack and lineage, I would like to know that. Let me know. If you would like to sit with me in a class or interaction of rewriting intimacy into you, I see, into me, I see, rewriting intimacy, let me know. There's many things that I teach, and I don't teach these things from the knowing, from the reading, because I went to a class and they taught me, they gave me a certificate. All you guys and your certificates, really? Give me a break. I don't teach these things because I have a certificate. I taught and teach these things because I have the experience that says, me too. I can, I will, I do. So I did. And I continue to, and I do. I give myself things that are good for me. I give myself the plant medicine of sage. I smoke the pipe and offer tobacco. And in fact, I'm going to smoke it before I click off to offer a prayer for all of you and all of me. And all that's to come, and all that haven't come yet, and all that are going to leave, and all that haven't left yet. Oh, and that have left. A prayer for my father, a prayer for my mother, my brothers and sisters, my nephews, my nieces, those that can't speak to me because I speak a different way. It's okay. I don't have to be friends with everybody. I just have to be friends with me. And if that's enough to let you in, that's enough for me. Aho. Anyways, my friend Tony's on. Everybody wants to be a Tony, right, Tony? Tina, thank you. Julie, Chris Cobb, I love you, brother. Did you see that drum that I posted, Chris? That yellow one. Who else? Angela, everybody that logged on, I want to thank you. I love you very much. And when I say that I love you very much, I love you very much because I love me very much. I give myself love and care because no one's going to do it for me. It's ebb and flow on the seas between you and me. The sea in Spanish is yes. The sea, the ocean. I don't have to be shipwrecked on the rocks of the ocean. I get to stand on those rocks as my foundation in the middle world. Thank you, D.B. Buckner. In the middle world. Aho. Aho. Cover me. Cover me. Cover me in spirit. Cover you. Cover you, cover you, cover you in spirit. Create a great spirit. I thank you for this day. I thank you for this gray, foggy day. I thank you for this moon day. I thank you for the second day of the week. Aho. The second day, the number two. Number 2 is also 11. It is the gateway. It's the gateway to what's next, to what's coming, to what can be. Aho. They're the pillars. They are the pillars. They're the mirrors. They see each other. If you put a roof on those 2 pillars, you create structure. Aho. You create community, common unity. Create a great spirit. Thank you for the song Ayo Wana Ishto. You gave it to me years ago. Here in Sedona, you gave me that song. And I continue to sing it and heal bodies and souls with it, minds. Aho. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all people, all souls. Even those that treaded on me, that's okay. I learned many lessons, and I learned how not to do that to others. Great spirit, great mother, power and guidance to the medicine wheel. Aho shinawana honata. Aho shinawana. Hey, brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you for this place. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your energies. And thank you for allowing me to make some effort to come into your heart, because I deserve your friendship. I deserve my friendship. I deserve to stand on the bridge that comes between you and I, and to hold your hand and to hug you and put my arm around you and say yes to you and you yes to me. Of love and encouragement and strength for each other. What is it that you want for yourself? I don't care about what you need. What do you want for yourself, really? My hope is they're the same things I wanted for myself. And that was just to be free, happy, and loved and loving. Oh, simple things, complicated by a non-simple world. Oh. I want to thank everybody for hanging with me this morning. I'm usually not on this long, and I usually don't talk this much, but things have to be said. I want you to know that there's hope. I have a friend in Hawaii. Her name is Hope Anderson, and she's a beekeeper, right? And that's a powerful journey to be a beekeeper and to have the name Hope. I offer hope. I offer hope after a lifetime of trials and tribulations, of missteps and stumbling, and I shared the other day that the word sin, that the religions like to use the word sin, simply means to miss the mark. To miss the mark. So I missed the mark. I hit it over and over again for the last 15 years. And my life is blessed because of it. Your life is blessed because of it. My life is blessed because you have missed your mark and you have found your way on the path. I walk the red road, although I don't call it that. I walk the red road and I honor everything around me, and I honor you. My name is Walking Crow, and I am Transformational Sacred Medicine. Have a beautiful, 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 beautiful moon day. Aho.